The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. And we start off the show today with the S&P off about 6 points. We were down about another 10 points, so down 16 points on the day at the bottom, but starting to come back. And I suspect we're going to kind of slosh around here till the the announcement of the FOMC meeting around this time tomorrow. So we should start getting and winding up for some nice movement in this market. Now, normally all the action on expiration day is over by Thursday, but we've got quad expiration going on this week. And if you believe in a lot of other stuff, you've got just about every other major kind of thing going on, from the equinox to, I think, a full moon to the dogs howling at the door. There's probably every kind of thought out there under the sun on Friday, and they're all going to come together in one massive kind of deal on Friday. Now, can all the action be over on Thursday? It could. But my guess is there's going to be a little bit more action, counteraction to what we have on Thursday. Of course, if you've ever sat around and watched intraday during an FOMC announcement, you always have about three moves, head fakes. Almost always the first one seems to be the indication of where it's not going. And it may bounce back and forth several times, but generally I tend to think that wherever it goes first is probably a head fake, but not always. But I tend to lean that way. But as we start the day off, of course, we wanted to look at the volume and what's that telling us. And it did tell us that it tried to go down on fairly light volume today, which is not surprising, waiting for the FOMC meeting. 1.9 billion shares. And nothing new to really say about out here. Just it is kind of a quiet day as we get started. But probably going to be pretty exciting when we start the show tomorrow. But I thought maybe there wouldn't be anything that I was wanting to purchase out here today. I actually found one little gem out here, and kind of interesting. So I guess it was worth me showing up at least this morning and not bugging out to go see them dump lots of green dye in the river down here in downtown Tampa. And but I will be leaving fairly shortly. And normally when the data comes through about 8 o'clock, 8:30, when it's all been filtered and fixed and massaged like a Kobe beef brisket, it's time to start doing the late night work starting tonight and tomorrow. So it'll be some late nights and early mornings for me for the next 2 days looking for these setups. Of course, we're going to be doing a webinar on it tomorrow night. If you go ahead and sign up for my newsletter free 30-day trial, you certainly can do that. We'll be sending out my white paper, which is the theory of options during expiration, or as I like to call it, the how you trade last-minute options on equities. And how you can make some fairly decent money on them. Anyway, I've got a white paper out, which is the theory on it, and we're going to be talking about the actual practice tomorrow night, and I'm going to be trying to get as many examples together as possible. So you probably want to sign up today and get that email. I think we're going to be putting the link in it today. So if you haven't read it already, make sure and read it tonight before the webinar. For those that will be available other times other than when the webinar is on at 5 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. It will be archived on your members page for the next 30 days after the presentation tomorrow night. But we've done one on the actual theory of it, and today or tomorrow night is going to be on the actual practice of trading options. And so you probably need to get that started, although we'll probably touch on it just for a minute or two before we start looking and digging into some things. But since I've done that original white paper, which is almost a year ago, I've been writing down additional things in the trades that I liked, and I think we're going to discuss those and how we can get some stocks that really move in the last few days, that the premiums are not too high for people to actually get. And of course, this is all about asymmetrical bets. That is spending a little money hoping to get a huge amount back. These bets are going to be, I like to think that if I think that there's the 50-50 chance of these things winning, that's great. And normally that would be pretty much a horrible business plan if it weren't that you got 4 or 6 or 10 times back sometimes. So you can be wrong a lot. Also, if you're using options correctly, you are using a very infinitesimal amount of your portfolio. Options, especially one-sided options, are not a way to take on more risk. They're a way to take out a great deal of risk. And that's exactly what you should be doing. Especially if you've been successful with these, the thought is to use them all the time. I like to say that options expiration is good about 3 or 4 times a year. And if you do it right, you're going to make so much money 3 or 4 times a year if you know what to be watching for. And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit tomorrow night. So get signed up. Also, not a better time in the world to either get one of my newsletters, both the longer term and shorter term newsletters. The Tech Insider is my longer term one. As soon as we get a market that really has a long term right now, kind of tough to find anything with a long term when we're so far distantly removed from the lows of March 2009. But I'll still find some stocks, I think, that are out there. I've got one now that looks pretty darn good, and we'll keep an eye on it. But it's starting to consolidate out, and I may even add to it here fairly soon. On the daily newsletter, there's a lot of chop out here, and of course, an easy way to basically throw a lot of cash away. So just probably time to sit on our hands for the most part. I don't have a lot committed, and wait for the FOMC meeting. My belief right now, or my guess, is that they will take this as a net positive tomorrow. She won't, like I like to say, drop the baby Ruth in the punch bowl. She'll try to soft pedal yet another time. And I think at least for a few days, it will soothe the savage beast of the markets. And hopefully we can get back up. This incredibly light volume would be a wonderful signal back up at the top to pull the trigger short. And, we're not that far removed from 2000, I think it was 2011, where I had a pretty massive call of the top and made huge money from that April 30th high. I think it was 2011. And it was right in there, April 30th, March 1st. We got hugely short in the Path of Least Resistance newsletter and had some massive wins. This is kind of starting to feel like that, in that, can they hold it all the way up to April? I don't think so, but there is the possibility. So in the meantime, we're going to make some quick, fast money, if possible, in options this week. But as I say often, I do digress. 1.92 billion shares as we start the show. Other things going on in Histoire.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is important to know your history, especially in the stock market, because you're looking for patterns. On this day in 1938, the governing committee of the New York Stock Exchange meets and agree unanimously to expel the former president, Richard Whitney, who has embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of securities from trust funds under his oversight. Well, that's the... has anything really changed? I saw somebody post something in the den about Goldman Sachs. There's nothing changed. You're in a business with sharks, and you better learn to swim quickly, or eat or be eaten, as they like to say. But nothing new about people on Wall Street and having rather sticky fingers. It's, again, like I like to say, it's not Mother Teresa, volunteering to go work in the slums of India. These people are there for one reason only, and that is cash. Not to change the world, not to make things better, although some of them do. It is to make the almighty dollar. And Wall Street's job is not to make you rich. It is to push out paper for companies so that they can expand their business, although sometimes it's just to loot your pocket. Also, in 1997, the Dow Jones replaced the old economy stocks: Bethlehem Steel, Texaco, Westinghouse, Woolworths, Hewlett-Packard, Johnson & Johnson's Travelers Group, and Walmart. And if you want I think I had a few emails from people going, well, did you ever think the NASDAQ would get back up here? And I said, well, yeah, because they throw away the stocks that blow up, and they keep the stocks that keep moving. In statistical analysis, this is called the survivorship bias. And we're having more and more stocks taken out of the Dow Jones. So if I only picked winning lottery tickets and ignored everybody else, it would seem like a rather great deal. But that is why, at least for the indexes, you will find them on average up 75% of the time. And the market is by the indexes down 25% of the time. The difference is that generally that 25% of the time makes up for the 75% of the time. As Mr. Buffett says, when the tide goes out, everybody can see who's swimming without a bathing suit, and that is generally what happens. And especially the uneducated trader will buy at the top and sell at the bottom, and poof, his money goes to money heaven. So, yeah. Well, somebody in the den is trying to get me fired up, apparently. I've already seen that article. I had somebody say something yesterday, and we're not going to have enough time to give it justice in this segment. When we come back, though, we're going to talk about stocks, because I get a lot of questions about Molycorp. Molycorp down today. What is it, off 24 cents, so it's down 32%. We're going to talk why. Are they going out of business? Well, maybe no, but it may be just as bad. We're going to talk about where stocks go to die on a market that's going sideways here right at the moment.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Check out the new look of Tiger TV. Now you can see all hosts, charts, and computer screens live in high definition. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV. Now, crystal clear in high definition, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't seen the new look of Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as we're back, we were talking, I think someone asked about MCP a while ago, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that they were under a delisting edict by the New York Stock Exchange, and it's down pretty significantly today, off 24 cents, trading at 50 cents. Now, there are a few regulations, and especially if you're down here playing penny stocks, you've got to know what these things are and what happens. In the case of the NASDAQ, you basically have to have 750,000 public shares outstanding worth at least $1 million. Anything less could result in a delisting by NASDAQ. That doesn't mean you go out of business, but that means that you no longer have the ability to add more shares to the market. You will get a letter. That letter will say, well, I mean, MCP got a letter. And depending on whether it's the NASDAQ or the NYSE, that letter will say a couple things. If it's the NYSE, you normally have 90 days to get your stock price back over $1. And you also have generally, those 90 days to do it. And it has to be over $1 for 30 days. So like on the 90th day, you get it back over $1. As long as you can keep it over $1, you can keep it going. Now, here's where stock market manipulation comes in and where you really have to worry about it. That is, if someone is massively short this market. They want to get every drop of blood they can out of a stone, and they'll do everything in the world to make sure the thing doesn't get back over $1. And this can be various stories of dubious originality and or truthfulness, or what did he call it? Truthiness. And so you always want to know about that. But basically, if you have 30 consecutive days below the minimum bid price or market cap, that starts the clock ticking. They get a 90 calendar days to get up. Now, sometimes the NASDAQ will waive these up to 180 days. And during 9/11, these things were waived for 6 months, I think. 6 months or a year. It's pretty long. So they can waive them in the collective wisdom of the markets. But that was it. Anyway, depending on what you're looking at, the NASDAQ or the NYSE tends to be a lot tougher. And one of the reasons is that their fees are about 3 or 4 times what the NASDAQ fees are. So they tend to cut you off very quick because they figure that you're not going to pay them either. And they're just a lot quicker to the draw. They want to think that they are better than the NASDAQ and their stocks are, quote, quote, of higher quality. But I don't know. Enron was a NYSE stock, so what can you say about that? I think that's pretty much it on the delisting. But that's it. I think we talked about Samsung getting these pre-orders yesterday, so I don't think there's anything new there. Let's get some charts up, and I ain't got enough time to look at MCP, so let's figure out what's going on here and how many days they have left. Yeah, this thing got up at $1.13. It hit a huge run, but back down here, big volume today. Of course, had earnings out last night. Now, what's going to happen to this? They put a lot of cash into this business, and it's not a bad business. But what continually happens is the U.S. government is not protecting Molycorp. They make and mine rare earth minerals that aren't all that rare, but they are rare in high concentrations. Basically, a mine is anything that's got something close to 5% of rare earths, of which there are about 20 different ones. And of course, the most valuable to the U.S. government is neodymium. They make super strong magnets out of them, and to make a smart bomb and GPS and all the other stuff, you got to have them. So what's mostly going to happen in Molycorp? Most likely, they will claim bankruptcy. Someone will buy them basically on pennies on the dollar. But as long as China is allowed to crush prices in this sector, which they drove up to astronomical values, which is the reason Molycorp took off to begin with, it is problematic. Now, there's a lot of blame and finger pointing go around in this stock, from the original CEO when they went public, to the inaction of the U.S. government that put this whole thing together, to the Chinese that are more than willing to try to drive these miners into bankruptcy. I think the second incarnation of this company will probably be doing a lot better, as these mines are now starting to turn a profit. Just a little too late. We'll be back in just a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, let's check into this market real quick and see if anything else has happened. I do not think so. Basically, we've had the pullback in the dollar index. We're flat on the day, 99.58, but I suspect we're probably going to take a slow pullback to about the breakout area of 95.96. And I'm not exactly sure what's going to cause that. Maybe a hiccup tomorrow from the FOMC. Maybe they're going to say we want to be a little pregnant and people aren't going to buy it. Hard to say, but my guess is that we're probably going to see a little bit of pullback. It was just too much too fast. Now, if it had gone up, a dime every day, I think we probably could have just seen it continue up. This is probably just a little, in general, I don't know if you can put calipers around this move. But to me, too much too fast means that generally you stall out and then you go back to the pullback. If you're talking about what a lot of technical traders call an impulse wave, that is one that just slowly moves up. Think about escalator instead of an elevator. It doesn't go straight up. Basically, you kind of go up at a nice little angle, and it's kind of nice and non-threatening. You can certainly see that, at least this dollar movement, to me, was the elevator, straight up. And that creates a lot of problems of its own. We're off 8 points on the S&P cash, 2.03 billion shares. So volume going to, remember, be fairly quiet. Had a good question in the den, and that is, when is the announcement tomorrow? It's 2 p.m. Eastern time. But you also need to know that there is a press conference this time. If you go to the Federal Reserve website, monetary policy, FOMCC calendars.htm. If you need the link, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. They always post in about a year in advance of what's going on. The little asterisk next to the dates shows dates when the Fed president will be taking questions and basically saying nothing if she can get away with it, or he, in the case of the previous FOMC guy. But for the most part, that takes us to about 3:15 Eastern. So we'll have a lot of action as that basically comes off. You get a normal whipsaw from about 2 to 2:30. Then you get her talking and saying whatever you thought that was bad, just forget it for about 45 minutes. And then the question is whether or not the market wants to buy it or not. And that continues to be the age-old problem. Are they going to buy this load that we're selling today? And I think we're probably getting pretty close to the market not letting them have it both ways, i.e. we're going to raise in June, and no, we're not when we finally get to June. So they're going to think now within a few months, they're saying it's time to put up or shut up. And if they act like there is no rate coming, I think the market will actually react. And to me, that looks like a much more probable cause. I'm a pretty big fan of the Karate Kid movies. And he liked to say many times, Mr. Danielson, best way to avoid a fight, not be there. So I've got a pretty speculative bet in the market right now, and I'm risking an entire quarter or less today, and that's going to tell me a great deal of what I want to be out here risking, a quarter on a $30 stock. Hopefully I'll be making a lot of money off of it, but other than that, I'm not willing to stick my neck out too far. But I think we're going to have this little pullback. It's going to be kind of quiet. We're going to see a lot of premiums melt away instantly after the announcement, and pretty much to vapor probably by the close tomorrow. And that's going to set up a pretty exciting couple of days where people are going to wonder if the market can get any movement at all. My guess is that that movement will happen on Thursday and into Friday morning, and probably flattish come Friday afternoon after the storm has passed. But subject to change, and your mileage may vary. But 50-50 bets, if you get paid back 4 or 5 times, not a bad bet. And that's what we're going to be looking at. If you've heard Tom talk about my Tesla sale, we made some good money on that. And I was speculating correctly that we'd have a lot of news out of Elon Musk, the CEO, yesterday. And basically, he came through for me. Pretty much every time the stock looks like it's getting down in the mouth and there's any chance of a bounce in it, he's more than willing to lob a few tweets out to satisfy his long-term, almost rabid owners of his stock that believe in his stock. I believe in profits, which they don't have a lot of right now. But of course, this stock basically came into its low of $185 from January 14th with about half the volume. He had a nice little pop out here today. I went ahead and sold yesterday, And of course, maybe there was a little bit more meat on the bone today, but you never know when old Mr. Kramer's going to come out and tell everybody to buy it. Not much of a bounce out here, but a little bit higher. I suspect that we are going to get one more chance and one more bite at the apple, as they say. And I'm watching that one closely. Other things of interest out here, we've got a few stocks moving. And of course, we talked about stocks being replaced in the Dow. That is a callback to the beginning of the show. American Airlines is basically going to replace Allergen, AGN. Maybe that tells you something, huh? Maybe it tells you that those biotechs are close to the top when they're pulling them out. Now that they've given all the juice they can to the Dow. Anyway, it will replace Allergen in the S&P 500. AAL is the symbol on it. And a nice little gap up with lots of volume. You've got basically need about 11 or 13 million shares at about 55, 56 bucks. We're about a buck underneath that with 28 million shares today. But that's going to continue to be probably bought for a little while as that kind of filters through the market. What else do we have out here? MU, we've been talking about these memory stocks for a while, and it kind of had a nice little gap down today. Kramer out there kind of hammering on it last night. But I think the die is cast on this thing. Actually, I would not be short down here. In fact, we talked about it, I think, a few days ago last week as it got down into the October 15th low at $26.32. And that was with 50 million shares. Of course, you got into it with 19 million shares on the 12th. Did not go down and test that low. I would love this thing to test this low tomorrow on very light volume. This could be another good setup out here. And we'll be keeping an eye on this for the last minute options into expiration. But 2632 is the number you're looking for. And boy, you'd love for this thing to get tested down there or get close tomorrow. And maybe if we get some bad news, maybe just some flailing around, it gets into that low with light volume. And maybe we got another possibility out here. What else do we have? Caterpillar off almost 2% today. Let's take a quick look at that. By the way, you can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com, and you can post a message in the den, which I have a question here, which we'll get to in just a minute, which is Alibaba. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. I don't play Chinese stocks. I think everybody knows that, but we'll take a look at it. Caterpillar. Now, this one's very interesting to me. And the reason why is you had a retest of the January 29th low, $78.81, 9.1 million shares. Got into it yesterday or 2 days ago and rejected it with 7.2 million shares. Today, you're into it with 5 million shares down here, and you are below those lows. But this is where you can see some of these quick pop back up. And let's take a quick look at it with my little tool here, if I can get it up and take a quick look, because I didn't think to look at this one before the show, but we will show it to you. In my tool for looking at options value, Caterpillar may be a play out here. Options are basically saying higher, and does it get to 80 bucks? I don't know. It's we'll have to see what that FOMC meeting is, but certainly the bias, if you're watching on Tiger TV, let me show it to you again here, certainly shows that it's at the very low end of the range for what options are saying for expiration. So, in fact, it meets some of my criteria. I think I'll use this for an example tomorrow night. Other stocks of interest out here, BABA, B-A-B-A. A lot of discussions in tech sectors about whether Alibaba is done with their problem of having counterfeits and actually getting real or fake products. Alibaba's worked fairly hard, and the big gap down was the tightening pretty much by the Chinese government on them selling products that were somewhat questionable. Now, Alibaba is a little different than Amazon, but kind of close to it. Amazon actually physically does buy products, put them in the warehouse, and ship them. Alibaba basically just tells people to ship things, and you buy it off their site, and they guarantee it. And this is what's been the problem, that a lot of these people have had a dearth of truthiness. That's what I was thinking of earlier about the validity of their products. And of course, the Chinese government has gone whole hog against them on this. And I don't know if this is more of a protection racket or anything else. You got two problems with trading Chinese stocks. One, you're 12 hours out of sync for what's happening both politically and economically. And of course, they can do anything they want because they're communists. I've always stayed away from Chinese stocks as far as I could, and including Russian stocks. I tend to think that it's more important to have something that's predictable than something I may or may not make a profit on. I would like to know the big surprise, unless I'm going to short it. But I think it's going to be very tough to get the true story out, especially we've talked about it over the last year, just how bad it is trying to get a real auditor in China that doesn't get fired. And, you know, if you're over in China and you're doing something wrong, let's say like cooking the books, and you're a U.S. company, can you really be prosecuted? The books are over there in China. Are they going to come over here and be a witness? Only if they want to throw you to the wolves. And the question is whether or not the Chinese government wants to get that involved in fleecing U.S. Stockholders as to make it any easier for us to actually find out the truth of this. Now, part of it is the NSA and them being bugged everywhere they go and everything they do by our government, which is a real thing. I mean, that's something you need to be worried about if you've got your own company doing stuff. But my guess is the NSA is probably not spending a lot of time on Alibaba. It's tough. So can this bounce? You certainly have to love the volume low out here. This thing, I think, is probably what John in the Den is talking about. A nice bounce, pullback on light volume, the March 3rd low, crammed down, instant reversal the next day. That was down to $80.03 with 39 million shares. The next day, you reverse up on 36 million shares. You come back down one more time on 13 million shares. Now this thing's kind of drifting up a little bit, but you're not getting a lot of juice out here. In fact, do I have that? Let's take a quick look and see what options say on Alibaba. BABA. Take a quick look and see if I've got anything. Come on, Mr. Baba. Not getting anything. Not exactly sure why. Yeah, maybe the options chain isn't complete because they haven't been around long enough. That may be it. So I don't have a real good clue out here, or maybe they're missing. BABA. Maybe I didn't type it correct. Yeah. Yep. Nope. Nothing on Baba. Okay. So what else do we want to look at out here? I want to see if any of the other stocks out here. MGM up 10% today. So one of the big movers. We'll be back and we'll talk more about this, but nice little hop out on this one. Volume was kind of big yesterday down here at this low in comparison to lows in that $18 range. We'll talk more about that when we come back.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. As this one-of-a-kind winter comes to a close and spring approaches, it only seems fitting that now is the perfect time for a spring Tiger Dollar sale. For this week only, we're doubling the bonus that we give when you purchase any amount of Tiger Dollars. Normally, we offer a 10, 15, or 20% bonus when you purchase Tiger Dollars, but for this week only, we're doubling our special offers, and you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even up to a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. This is one of our best Tiger Dollar sales of the year and won't be around for long. Tiger Dollars can be used for any TFNN product or service and provide a great way to lock in added value on your subscriptions. Tiger Dollars never expire, so whether you're a current subscriber or plan on subscribing at one point in the future, take advantage of this spring Tiger Dollar sale this week only and get up to a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. This sale ends Sunday night, so don't miss out. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. Get your Tiger Dollars today and lock in your bonus before this sale passes you by.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're going to go right to Roger in Mount Vernon, Washington. How you doing today, Roger?
Pretty good, I guess. I don't know, just waiting for the, FOMC.
Yep.
I wanted to look at IBM, kind of bounce that off you, see what you're thinking.
IBM has a lot of problems, and it doesn't seem like even Buffett buying it has been enough to really drive this thing. The they've got a lot of ships out. They're just not going to come in for a couple of years. That's the problem. I think long term, the company's pretty good. The problem is are you talking about a trade or an investment?
Well, I trade.
Yeah. It's hard for me to see. They've got a lot of things in the fire and a lot of cool products coming out. I really love Watson and what they're doing with that. The problem is they just don't have a product to ship on it yet. So they've got a lot of stuff out there. I'm just thinking the stock can probably pull back for a while, especially if the market tops out. This thing could have some problems for a while. It's pretty hugely institutionally held. Are you thinking about going short or long?
Short.
Yeah. It could bounce. The downside is you got Buffett behind it. And I've been on some short sides of stocks that he's had. He'll just go buy a bunch more. And that's the worst part of the whole thing is he can hold up stocks. There was parts where Mohican Carpet was ready to tank, and he just stepped right in. And that is the problem when you got a guy that's got almost endless pockets. Yeah. So that kind of soured me. I know what everybody's looking at in this thing. And Buffett's horizons are 5-10 years down the line most of the time. And that is the problem. He sees the stuff that's out there in the future, and he's buying it now. And he's been doing well. He doesn't always buy the bottom, though. He buys stocks that are good, getting better, he thinks. I think he bought this one a little early. But, what can you say? Now, this thing probably is going to move during expiration this week. I doubt it. It looks like it's going to come out at about 158 on Friday, the way I'm looking at it now. So we'll have to see. But I just don't see either long or short. I'd much rather get into some stocks that have topped out on light volume than are going sideways and consolidating. Here's where I'm looking at this. If you had January 2nd high that had 5.5 million shares, you got into it with 4.7 million shares, you almost need to get back up in that 163, 164 range again with like 3 million or 2.5 million shares to set the hook in this thing to even have a chance. So that would be my problem. And most likely if this thing is bad, it's just going to gap down and not give you a chance to get in anyway. So risk reward kind of poor. Buffett against me. I don't like that. And, a darling of Wall Street. And these people, the old saying is you never get fired for buying IBM, works on Wall Street too. So I think there's some wonderful shorts out here that are much better. I would just look around a little bit more. But I think it's an okay short, but I think there's probably some great shorts out here too.
So you're thinking 158 by Friday then?
It's probably in that range. That's at least where options are. And as far as the stock that follows options, IBM is probably one of the best. Well, I want to thank you for the call, Roger. We're going to see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to. Hang on for Tom O'Brien and get those Tiger dollars. I don't know what you're going to do. Maybe flip on a light switch and you're going to think, now's the time, and buy those Tiger dollars.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.